Hi,
Hello.
Tut. Hi,
Hello,
Alex.
hello.
Okay, good. How are you doing?
Have you just
Oh,
had a
good, good.
haircut?
How are you guys?
Good, very good, thanks. Yeah, I got a haircut last weekend before the hard lockdown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took the opportunity that there was a hairdresser that was still accepting clients.
Okay, so let me make you a co-host.
Perfect, thank you very much.
And Alex co-host as well. Okay.
Yes, and the spotlight on Alex. Also, okay, and that works also. How do I remove it?
I will be sharing the screen, right?
Yes, and you're able to share a screen, right?
Yes, I will share the screen.
Can you try it?
Yes, 1 second.
Yes. I saw that you add up some slides on the people science part,
Yes.
which is good, which is very good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. There's less text. It's good. Very good. There is one that you changed the operational versus strategic. You said that operational was local and the other regional. Do you mean like local companies versus regional companies, or is there another notion out of it?
One of your questions is like, I worked in Southeast Asia and how to build efficient
Yeah.
structure. So I will
Yes.
know that there's this model, but this model can be also utilized for teamwork, where manager gives a lot of independence and operational activity for the team itself, and the strategy can be developed together with the team, but local operations localized in the team can be done separately. There is not a lot of oversight there.
Okay, good. It's just like awesome. That's clear now. Okay, cool. Thank you. Can you unshare your screen so we wait for people to just come in?
1 second, I will duplicate the slide so it will be easier to understand. So first slide, I will remove it.
Okay.
So here I will tell how to do teamwork. And here local versus regional HR. So this is, I'm going to tell that the operational effectiveness is about what we do, and delivering plans and strategic positioning helps us to have a long-term vision, long-term plan, which requires deep involvement of management. And if we want to move fast, this is a good strategy. And it perfectly applies for regional HR, where you have one regional team which is located somewhere far
where you're coming from, which company you're working in, and then we will start at around 12 p.m. So let us know where are you located and which company do you work for. We'd love to know more about you. Okay. Maybe you're busy.
Everybody
Or
unpacking their lunch.
Yeah, maybe you're preparing your lunch before watching this HR lunch, right? All in all, thank you very much for being here. It's very hard time at the moment, and I think it's very important for us to keep being connected with each other. And this is a great opportunity actually to meet people that we wouldn't meet in the real life, right? What is real today is real life, but I think that it's a great opportunity to have access to people like you, Alex, who have like a very high position in conglomerates like Sovico Group. It's really appreciable.
Thank you so much. And we also appreciate that people can spend their lunchtime in these harsh times.
Yeah. And exactly. Like it's almost an honor to be invited at the lunch table.
Yes.
Cool. Welcome, one. We're going to start in 5 minutes. And I thought that we would be able to play some games, but we can't. There is not the same functions as in my meeting account. So, but that's fine. It's totally okay. If any of the participants have a question, a particular question to ask us, feel free to open your mic and let us know how you feel. Hi, Nhi. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, Nhi.
Hi.
Welcome to the HR lunch break. Where are you calling us from? Me?
I'm sorry. Can you ask me again?
Yeah. Where are you located right now?
Ho Chi Minh City.
In Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. I hope that the situation is okay for you. That you still have.
Okay. Thank you.
For which company do you work for?
Estee Lauder companies.
SEO.com.
Estee Lauder.
Estee Lauder.
Company.
Oh, nice. Nice. Welcome.
Oké. Goed, nou ja, oké, dank. Bij jullie alles goed?
Hi, Christian.
Pardon?
No, Christian was muted. Good. It's good to have you on board, me. Welcome to the HR lunch break. Is that your first time to this session, or have you participated into another HR lunch break? Me? I lost me. It's okay. Actually, it's the first time. Okay, so welcome. Good. It's good to have you. Hi, Dan. Every time that we see each other, you have a different background, which is nice.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just keep
Every time I
tweaking,
see you.
so because I feel so boring, so I just like keep tweaking. But yeah.
And that's good. That's awesome. It's a great way to cope with the situation and the boredom of online sessions.
Yeah, exactly. And you have changed your hair.
Yes. Yeah,
Hey, short hair.
Hey.
Very good. You needed a change. Did you do it? Or do you have like a talented hairdresser in your house?
I have a talented hairdresser next to my house.
Ah, okay. Very good.
That's very convenient. Good. Exactly.
Yeah. It looks fresh. Hello, Alexander. How are you?
Hello, everything is fantastic as it can be.
Oh, this is the famous HR bro.
Yes.
When I read that, I was like, wait, did I read that correctly? HR bro, amazing.
Me too. Me too. When I stumbled across his profile on LinkedIn, I was like, is he serious? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's a great catchline. Like, yeah, it's just perfect. It sets the mood when we connect with you.
Definitely.
Makes people less stressed about HR. Everybody's so stressed about HR.
Oh, really? I always feel like whenever we have team meetings, the HR team meetings are always the most like zen and balanced. They're like the most relaxed out of everyone. Some secret sauce from our HR.
It depends on the company, right?
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to this session. It's good to see you all. We are going to start. Welcome to this HR lunch break. It's 12, so it's the start of this meeting. My name is Denise. I'm a coach and certified trainer and CEO of Tide Consulting. We support leading companies in Vietnam and Southeast Asia who believe in the growth of their employees is going hand in hand with the growth of their companies. So if you want to improve your internal communication in your company, or if you want to create an engaging employee experience, or have the right person at the right position, feel free to let me know, to contact me. Welcome to this HR lunch break. This event is in partnership with Dreamplex. So thank you very much for trusting this partnership and for collaborating together. Dreamplex is one of the leading co-working space in Ho Chi Minh City. They are going to open, I think, 2 more end of this year and 1 next year. So be sure to check them out because their space is all designed for you to be as productive as possible. And I really like the vibe of working in those space. So today, for today's HR lunch break, we are welcoming Alexander Thyssen. Nice to meet you, Alexander. It's an honor to have you as a guest today. You have more than 15 years of experience in IT, a lot of experience also in Lazada, both at regional position and in Vietnam. And I think it's very interesting for us today to get more from your experience. So thank you very much for being here. And what is interesting about Alex is that he has a very business-oriented perspective. And he applies it to HR. So that's what we are going to tackle. And using that experience and that unique perspective as an head of HR of Sovico Group, you will let us know why is it important today to empower the HR function. So thank you very much for being here. Without further ado, the session we are going to have, we are going to start with the conversation with Alex, and then we will move on to breakout rooms to know more about your thoughts on the matter, and then we will come back and share within the group. So this session is meant to be 1 hour. So hopefully by 1 p.m. it's going to be over, and you will all walk out with some experience and some new ways of thinking about the HR function in your company. So yeah, again, thank you very much, Alex, for being here. So as I said, you're coming from a more business and tech background. Can you explain us more on why have you chosen to focus on HR function in particular?
Thank you very much for introduction, and thank you for having me. I would also like to appreciate everybody joining in these harsh times and during your lunchtime, so you can have your lunch. No worries, if you have questions, you can ask them in the chat or anytime. We will be super happy to answer your questions. My background is very heavy business oriented. That's true. I started my first company when I was 18, and I was always heavy in tech. And technology has changed the landscape of the business quite rapidly, especially in the beginning of 2000s, where companies were growing from garage to international billion unicorn in a couple of months. Unlike before, it took Apple a couple of years to grow to the size that Facebook grew in 1 year. So this was a great opportunity for me to try tech business, and over a specific period of time, I noticed that there is one department that is not as visible as others, is not as visible as commercial operations or technology. And it was HR. And a lot of companies start with CEO position. And as company is growing, more and more people are hired. And at a certain point of time, CEO doesn't have enough time to hire people himself or herself. And they need help. So this is where the HR is coming into the picture. And after this, HR is shaping the company. HR has immense impact on the organization. And it's the same as phenomenon of butterfly effect, where a small localized change can have a complex impact on the whole system, on the whole organization. So this is where I often, how I position the HR. It's so deeply interconnected, and it's not like any other department is connected with the company. HR plays a significant role in developing positive business culture, improving employee engagement and productivity. HR function also takes lead in employee wellness and personal development. You can be easily overlooked in SME when the company is expanding and growing very fast. And a lot of entrepreneurs start their business giving a very little focus on developing HR. I believe that if you want to scale your company fast, HR is a great example to focus on.
Yeah, exactly. Because HR is actually taking care of the people who are selling and operating our products or services, right? So they play a very central role in every company. And yeah, it's one of the biggest challenge nowadays, right? To engage effectively, having a smooth employee experience, and it's one of the biggest question actually in every business, actually, even in the Silicon Valley, right? It's a very big question mark. So throughout your career at various regional HR and people operation positions, you've been able to oversee and manage a lot of remote teams. What are the key success factors of remote employee experience for you?
I think that I will quickly go into how the career in HR starts for a lot of specialists. And when I moved to HR consulting, for me, it looked pretty easy. However, after a couple of months and years, I understand more and more how the landscape of HR is expanding every year. And right now we call it people departments, which cover all of the internal service. And this is a simple example, what I call HR Dunning-Kruger effect, where in the beginning it looks very simple, but going forward more and more, we get deeper understanding of the business and impact of the people on the performance of the business. It's still very important to always be open-minded. And I think that given the benefit of doubt to our knowledge as HRs helps to scale organizations effectively. It doesn't matter if the company is based in Vietnam or Singapore or Malaysia. The impact of each HR team on their internal business team is huge. And when we are moving to deeper knowledge, deeper impact on the organization, there are small steps where HR is expanding its capability. Everything starts with hiring, termination processes, onboarding. But later on, we move to complicated total compensation packages with long-term incentives, short-term incentives, recognition programs, how we can motivate our employees, how we can retain them. A lot of companies are struggling with the turnover these times. And a great example is that COVID has a massive impact on people's self-actualization, how they see themselves in the company. And this is where annual HR strategy and strong market positioning can really help. Doing employee net promoter surveys help to improve the organization. And I think the biggest challenge for a lot of companies, be it a startup, medium-sized company or enterprise, is putting more effort on the HR's business function, ensuring that HR has all of the tools, resources, KPIs that actually boost the company, boost the business. Two very simple ones is getting the budget and headcount approved. And I see this issue in all companies, be it international conglomerate or be it a local company. A lot of time, top management doesn't put a lot of effort into approving these critical moments such as headcount budget and annual budget for HR to go for the next year.
Yeah. Why do you think that's so, that they struggle to approve HR budget and headcounts?
I think the reason why is that the majority of the companies, they don't consider HR right now as a business partner, as a revenue center. A lot of times when you look at commercial, you have some revenue targets, you have marketing targets, you have technology targets to deliver services and products or stability issues. But in HR, most of the organizations just look into hiring. And in some cases, there will be an agency hired when there is massive recruitment. But there are more things. For example, building internal capabilities of the team, where you can promote people internally rather than hiring people from outside. And you can drastically cut the cost on this because the average promotion is between 5 and 15% increase of the salary. But hiring some manager from outside, he's already having this salary of the manager. And to move the person from one company to another one, it's plus 20% more. So the cost can be 40, 60, 80%. While promoting somebody internally can be 5 to 15%. Another example is that the average turnover cost is 3 to 5 salaries of an employee. And HR can run a lot of engagement activities where this impact can be reduced to diminished. And the overall impact on the market, employees are the first customers of your organization. Employees will be upselling your product. And if your rating on the market on Glassdoor is high, it's a great example where your employees are promoting the organization much wider to candidates, to customers, and business partners.
Yeah, this is very interesting that a lot of business leaders don't realize that it's less expensive to retain and upskill your employees than to recruit new employees. Thank you very much for that answer, for that clarifications. So Southeast Asia is a very diverse region. We don't eat the same food in Vietnam as in Indonesia, for example. And we have like different cultures, religions, traditions. How do you build a successful HR strategy across the region, despite all those differences?
Yes, so the situation in Southeast Asia, like it's one region, right? All of the countries, they have a lot of exchange between cultures. There is a lot of localization, but all of the countries in Southeast Asia have something to share with each other. I think that one of the reasons why I work in Southeast Asia for the past 6+ years is that I love the culture. It's very open-minded, it's very progressive. I have never seen such adoption of technology like in Southeast Asia. The one thing that definitely going to improve in the next 5 to 10 years, which will make Southeast Asia probably #1 economy region in the world going forward, is the strategy. So right now, a lot of organizations and even employees, people on the market are hyper focused on their everyday work, rather than thinking about their future, having some strategy, having some long-term plan where people want to be in 5 years and 10 years. And same applies to teams. A lot of teams are hyper-focused on everyday operational excellence and having lack of strategy and vision. This is where the successful factor for effective HR collaboration between countries, where I was managing teams in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong, and a little bit China, is providing the team strategic framework, expectations, KPIs, objectives, key results. But this thing has to be developed with the team. We cannot just drop top to bottom some expectations and hope that people will deliver. If people don't have feel of ownership, it will impact operational effectiveness. So this collaboration to develop the strategic positioning, focusing on delivering unique value is the first stage, and then it can go into operational effectiveness with a lot of independence. And the most successful teams, they have a lot of independence to execute on their own without a lot of oversight. Friday weekly reports is a great example to monitor efficiency, but having daily check-ins or every 3 days, I think it's too much, and the people have not enough time to focus on their work.
I see. It's very interesting on the side. There is the operational effectiveness and the strategic positioning, and it's important to combine them to get a successful HR strategy, and to upskill the operational HR function to be more strategic, and be able to step back and be able to analyze the situation and have a better compliant HR strategy across the region. During our call to prepare this HR lunch break, you were talking about companies in the Silicon Valley who were building people science team. Can you explain more about that in simple words? What people science team mean? Because yes, to me, as a noob, as a tech noob, I don't really understand.
So most of the companies, they have a lot of business models. They have a lot of analytics models. And all of these things exist for 70, 80 years already on the market. You have best practices such as Six Sigma. You have tech best practices like agile development to have weekly deliverables or bi-weekly deliverables for customers. So you can get a constant improvement and continuous delivery. I believe that HR has a lot of HR can learn a lot from existing best practices in business. And I'm just going to quickly show examples how a simple business model can be applied to HR. And I will share a couple of examples of people science in practice. So this is an example of how to apply why, how, and what model to HR, where we always, when we think about operational excellence, we know what we need to do. But why we are doing what we are doing is oftentimes more important, and it helps to have a bigger picture and have some anticipation of future events and some contingencies to prepare for those events. So this is where the corporate values, corporate culture, and the purpose of the organization are very important, should be defined. So it helps us to understand where we are going. After this, we start to develop our core frameworks of decision-making, structure, and talent management, talent positioning, and hiring. These things help organization to go from highly abstract values, highly abstract positioning to more positioning for specific market, going from, for example, from the world and Southeast Asia, particularly to a specific market for Vietnam, for Singapore, or for Indonesia, for any other country. Because in each country, the culture is different, and decision-making process, the organization structure, and talent positioning will be different. And then we go to very day-to-day operational things, providing HR automation, HR systems, learning and development programs, and providing employees a platform for onboarding, for everyday employee portal, for employee referral programs, and things like this. I'm going to share two examples how it can be applied for real life situations. So the first one is for COVID. A lot of organizations, when COVID happened, were not ready. But if you have a strategic positioning and health safety plan for the organization, which includes pandemics, seasonal flu, which we have every year, then you will be ready. And the COVID situation wasn't that much different in the beginning from a typical flu season. So a lot of companies were practically ready for something like this. And after this, we implement processes and systems to mitigate business risks. For example, hybrid work. And then we can train our staff and gather data, for example, daily check-ins. If somebody is sick, we can help people to check in hospital or help with health insurance. Another example is high turnover, which a lot of companies are facing right now. The first thing, we need to acknowledge the cause of the problem. A lot of times, organizations just jump in the situation and start hiring people from the market, and they don't look into the cause. So the turnover is accelerating. This is where it's very important to understand what is the reason for the turnover. It can be COVID itself, because people spend more time at work, at home, and they think more about their career. But sometimes it can be about business understanding, because working from home makes employees feel a little bit disconnected from the organization. And it's especially important for low-level staff, where they may not see the immediate impact on the organization. So regular town halls by leadership, sharing financial results, demonstrating impact of staff on business can help a lot. And of course, providing employees ways to drive a change in the organization can help a lot. Such examples is ideation contests, hackathons, or internal transfers, where employee can move from one team to another one rather than leaving the company, for example. If anyone have any questions about what I'm presenting, please prepare your questions. I will be super happy to answer them. And this is an example of people science. People science is basically not much different from any other business analytics. And this is a simple example where research inside your organization about how people interact, how people send emails, how they message with each other. And during performance reviews, the company can ask question, what kind of impact you have been doing outside of your immediate team, can help to understand which people are more connected with external teams. And each organization have these hyperactive people. Maybe deliverables are suffering, but these people are connecting multiple teams, and they are basically the hub of innovation and ideation. In this picture, you can see that the orange is hyper connected with his own team. So his deliverables may be great, but his impact and his creativity may be underutilized, because this person may be in technology team and doesn't have this deeper connection to commercial and marketing team, where he or she can have a bigger impact. Another example is influence. And in this picture, you can see that the purple is influencing at least 2 teams. And this helps for him to have a bigger impact on the overall network, while the orange has less impact and has impact mostly on his or her team. This is the very good example of productive teams. And most of there is Anna Karenina principle, which says that all successful families are alike and all unsuccessful families are different in their own way. This is the same, and I often say that all productive teams are very connected with each other. So all of the debates happen in healthy environment, everybody share their opinion, and the whole team comes to effective conclusion. While most of the unproductive teams have 1 or 2 people who interact with everybody else, and a lot of other team members, they don't feel valued, or they have limited impact on the whole team performance, because they basically have no choice rather than to stay passive. And there is a very small text in this slide. The slight increase in the internal density and the external range can save up to 2,200 hours a year. The reason why is that in this picture, you can see that each person has their own scope of influence, and they are not overlapping. All of the gray dots, they are reporting basically to 1 or 2 people. And it eliminates the situation where one manager has to manage person in another team, and that the same person reports to dotted line manager, and everybody dotted line manager to somebody else. This is a great example of people science, where we do a research of how our employees are interacting with suppliers and business partners. And this slide is perfectly representing a very critical risk for the organization, such as corruption, where only one person is connected to a partner. It creates the situation where if the person leaves the company, the organization will be basically cut off from the supplier or business partner, or there can be some under the table deal between these people, and because there is a lack of transparency of interaction between organizations. And basically the whole point of audit is to provide more visibility on interaction between 2 individuals, but modern organizations and technology companies, they have much more fluid interaction with third parties and providers, where there is much more transparency. So this is one of the things which organizations can look into. And the last one is a great example of siloed teams, very common challenge for the organization, where hyper-connected teams, they become isolated. Looking at the previous slide, it's very important to make sure that your team has interaction, not just with one or two teams. It's very important to connect HR, not just to board of management, but to have a connection with the commercial, with marketing, with technology team. So HR can see the impact on the whole business. At the same time, business departments in companies such as commercial can provide the insights how and what kind of activities HR can implement to drive the performance. A good example is deal bonus or commission bonus for commercial team, or deliver ahead of the time deliverables by technology team bonuses. A lot of ideas can come for HR from those departments.
Yeah, that's very interesting that we need to have the HR teams have to be on the ground also to understand how much their actions can be impactful in the operations and the sales department. And that's super interesting. And thank you very much for explaining to us with a very, very easy words, very easily understandable words, that people science is all about mapping the relationship within the organization by gathering the data, emails, messages, the deliverables, how are those deliverables created, how many departments were involved in the creation of those deliverables. The second step would be to analyze all those relationships so that we can optimize the operations and the sales performance. That's super clear. Thank you so much for that. And so what does the head of HR and chief people officer has to do with this? Are they more like chief of to orchestrate all that, or more like a strategic position?
Yes. So the people of chief people officer or head of people or head of HR is basically a function that serves all the people in the organization. Our goal is to make sure that employees understand what is expected from them, which is helping to set up the framework for performance management. Then helping employees to grow inside the organization, which is done through learning and development initiatives. Ensuring that we can hire best possible talents. And often misconception of the best talent is the person who is the best on the market. I would rather say it's the best fitting person, because all companies' cultures are different. All companies' dynamics and values are different. The best employee is not the one that is the top performer in some top 10 Forbes companies. The best one is that loves the company, loves your product. He or she are already motivated to join you and want to deliver exceptional results, and they have a good track record. This slide is both helpful for people analytics, how you can start your own people science. And it may sound pretentious, but it's very easy to do. It's a simple survey. The idea of this survey is not that you send it once. The idea of the survey is that it has to be frequent. And it helps you to monitor change in your organization and the impact of organizational changes on behavior of your employees. It's a very simple one, but if you will send it frequently every 2, 3, or 4 months, you will see the changes, and it will help you to adjust your strategy. As a head of people, it's very important to understand that the strategy is helping business with deliverables, with the annual business strategy. And HR strategy can be quickly adjusted. It can be very agile, and this survey can help to implement those changes. A great example how the change in the hiring can save a lot of expenses, because one bad hire can cost up to 12 salaries, annual salary of the employee. And the average loss through each bad hire is approximately 240,000 in expenses, because it covers hiring, compensation, retaining employees, and after bad hire leaves, you spend 3 to 4 months to hire the replacement. And 84% of the companies who admit they hired the wrong person lost an average $14.9 thousand for each such hire. This is very important for business to understand the impact of people function on the organization. And the chief people officer is responsible to ensuring that the company can save on operational costs and can promote healthy culture in the organization.
Awesome, thanks. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to open your mic, fire your questions away to Alex. Thank you for sharing with us all those information about how much the HR function is important. It plays a central role to execute the strategy from the service level. The best employee is not the top performer, is definitely the fan, the one that really believes in the values of the company and that represent the company outside of the company and really roots for the company. So feel free to let us know if anybody has any question. Rachel has to leave. It's okay. Bye, Rachel. Have a good afternoon. Okay.
You can ask anything.
Otherwise, we will move on to some breakout rooms. Nicholas is asking, in your opinion, does people function have more value or potential as a centralized function or a decentralized function?
It really depends on the organizational structure. So for example, HR is not the function that will define the organizational future. There is a board of directors, and the goal for HR is to be on this board of directors. A lot of organizations, they just don't include HR in the annual strategy. For the regional strategy, as I said before, I think that the most optimal framework is that a regional team helps to have a very high level plan. For example, the expected percentage maximum turnover rate or lead time to close the position in the organization. But how it's done must be decided inside the country, because all countries are very different and all cultures are very different.
Yeah, thanks. It makes sense. Yes, it makes sense. Okay, let's move on to some breakout rooms because we have a question for you. We would like to break out some rooms for you to discuss in groups of 3. What is the ideal HR function for you? And what kind of HR function do you want for your company? Let us know in 3 points the best, the ideal HR function that you'd like to have. Can we break out into groups of 4 so that you have the time? Now maybe 3 to 4 people. Okay, I hope that everyone will join. So please answer the question, what is the ideal HR function for you? I will create the breakout rooms right now. Please join those breakout rooms. I will just wait. Okay, the breakout rooms are all open. Alex, if you want to join the room, you can. Okay, he's gone. Please, everyone, please join the breakout rooms. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back to the session. We'll wait for the others to join, to come back. And then we are going to share what you have
Hi.
found. Hi.
Please, could you give us like a few minutes to finish what you were discussing in the different groups? Like two more minutes.
Okay, but that means are everybody in your group back?
I think
Are you-
so.
I think you, because the other participants from your room are still in the room actually.
Okay, I don't know
And
what's happened.
I can't take you back.
Okay,
I can't
it's
take
okay.
you back. I'm sorry. Hi everyone. Welcome back. So let us know, what is the ideal HR function for you? Let's start with room number 2 with Hien, Lan, Nguyen Min, and Nguyen Thi Quinn. Can you let us know your answer on that? Open your mic, please, and let us know what is the ideal HR function for you. Hien, Lan, Nguyen, are you here? Okay, let's move on to next room with Dan, Ha, Nhi, and Van. What did you come up with? Hello? Hello, Dan? Maybe he was not. Or anybody else wants to share with us the ideal HR function?
This is Ha. I cannot connect with the others on in my room, so maybe this is just my personal opinion. Sure. Then
okay.
So from what I read and from what I experienced, I think an ideal HR function for me is like in the function in the HR department there will be enough expertise. So expertise from different functions for talent acquisition, engagement, or CNB, or some even better if it can have people science like what Alex has been sharing, or analytics things. And also beside from all of those functional expertise, there would be expertise of insights from different the other departments which HR is serving, which is actually HRBP things. So it's it will be like different people with expertise of functions like CNB, TA, or engagement can consult all the people with insights, can combine with the insights from different departments. And then all together they come up with different solutions to serve the company or serve any specific departments to the best knowledge and insights. So that's my ideas.
Good, very good. Yeah, the ideal HR function is for you a function that has expertise, a lot of expertise, diverse expertise to better serve the business. Cool. Thank you very much, Ha, for your answer. Anybody else wants to add up to that? What do you think?
Hello, everyone.
I can share from.
Okay. Sorry, so you just keep talking.
You first.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Just share, let's say, my personal opinion about this. In my opinion, there is no, let's say, no ideal HR function for every case or every company. It depends a lot on the size of the company, the scope of the company, and let's say the type of the company. Let's say is it manufacturing or is it commercial only or consulting only or something like that. And it's also based a lot on the vision and the mission of the company, the reality of the company, how they would like to invest to, let's say, HR function and in the employee in general. Yeah. And yes, it's good that in some big company they have very clear structure between the expertise team and also for business partner team, so that each team can be focused on the expertise they deliver. For example, for the, let's say, for the operation team, they will focus on very expertise work to ensure the operation, while the business partner team will be focused more on engaging the business, understanding the business, and providing the suitable solution for the business goal or for the priority of the team or the department they are in charge. Yeah. And I think instead of asking what is the ideal HR function, we should focus on how to determine the let's say the ideal HR function for the company for the organization that you are supporting. Yeah. That is my opinion.
Very relevant. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not about the what, it's more about the how. And maybe more about the why. Why is it important to have a HR function that is ideal for our company? Thank you very much, Ni, for sharing that with us. Does anybody else wants to add up to that?
So I will share what my team has shared, just Preet, Nicole, and Tanya. So the first thing is that the HR department should have a good knowledge of the business. And it will help with a lot of things. It will help with hiring, will help with resolving challenges, because right now a lot of HR teams, they feel disconnected from business, and HR business partnership is very important. The second thing is that HR needs to have more diversity, inclusion, and sense of belonging in the organization, because a lot of times HR cannot make an impact on the organization strategy. So this helps to have more holistic strategy overall for the whole business. And Tanya also shared that HR department is the one that connects people in the organizations with their managers, and having great processes for performance management or conflict resolution challenges, where HR can stay impartial and unbiased solving these challenges, is very helpful and will build the trust between employees, managers, and HR department.
It's really the connector. It's like a catalyzer, I would say. It catalyzes people, positions to boost the business and boost the performance. Yeah, exactly. Does anybody else wants to add up to that?
Maybe, can I jump in?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So actually, I just saw I'm co-host, so I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I think one thing that would be really interesting to add is, maybe it's not so functional. Maybe even HR function sounds very functional, but a need for deep care. I think a lot of the things mentioned, they kind of happen automatically when people who are in that function or in that team really care about the people in the company. So I've always found that, sometimes you don't really have to force things to happen if people are just there with like a true kind of feeling of, I care about this team, I care about this company. So to me, an ideal HR team would also really be about deep care and empathy and wanting to really do the best for the people in the company.
I completely agree to that, and I would like to even add on this. A lot of times, organizations and especially leadership are not very happy with the HR department performance. There are two reasons for that. One reason is that most of the time it's lack of resources. And the second one is that HR team needs the same motivation as any other department. It's very important to make sure that your HR team is motivated. And right now there's a lot of discussions about professional toxicity in the market. The toxicity comes from lack of feeling of belonging, and the HR team will be hiring everybody in your organization. You want to make sure that your department that hires all the people is motivated, they're empathetic, they are supportive, because if they are not, the people that they will be hiring will follow the same way.
So how do we do to boost that belonging? What is the secret for you?
I think this whole presentation is called Empowering HR, and it can be done top to bottom, and also can be done bottom up. Sometimes the management just doesn't see that they have the golden HR team. I have seen organizations which just don't look into how great the HR team until somebody resigns from this HR team, and then a lot of problems come. If you believe that you can make a change in the organization and you suggest improvements for the leadership, don't give up. Of course, first time it may not go through, for example, new compensation benefits framework, or maybe some amazing tool for performance management, or even something for hybrid work, or maybe some policy. Don't give up, just try to push it through, and eventually everything that HR does as a butterfly effect has impact on the whole organization. And if you have good intentions, if you want to help organizations, eventually organization will recognize it, and you'll have more exposure, you will have bigger impact. So me as HR, we have to try to drive change from inside. We cannot just always expect that the business will come and tell us that they want to give us a lot of power and decisions and budgets.
Yeah, it doesn't fall out of the sky, right? It has to be earned, and to earn it, you need to put a lot of effort on it, and to believe it. It comes from the guts a little bit, to really believe strongly in the power of the people in companies. We have received a lot of comments on why do we empower people, HR function here in Vietnam. I received some message saying like, I've seen that Vietnam HR function is not ready. It's not ready to be empowered. There's too many, they don't want to change. They are just incompetent, and they don't want to be innovative. What would you react when someone is telling you that?
I had a very good example just about 2 years ago. There was one company which was not very happy with the HR, and I did a lot of interviews because the problem was with the employees actually. But the management blamed HR for problems with employees, which is very common. And I have done approximately 100 very quick interviews with the employees, and none of the employees complained about HR. All the employees complained about the culture, about transparency in the organization. And then when I spoken to HR team and to leadership didn't see these problems. While HR was escalating these problems with a limited effort. So everything, all of the tools, all of the things were there. It's just HR didn't believe that management will listen. Management doesn't want to empower HR and give them budgets or tools to change things. So it's like problem of chicken and egg. This is why I always tell that I don't believe that there are bad employees at all. There are no bad employees. Maybe you chose wrong career path. Maybe you're demotivated at this point of time. But there are millions of examples where people become top performers, like from very poor performance to top performance. A lot of such examples. So if you want to change your organization, how your organization looks at HR, just keep trying. And there are a lot of best practices. Later on, maybe I will have other presentations. There's like 50 simple tools that any company can implement to demonstrate the value of HR.
Yeah, keep trying. It's as we said, there's a lot of effort that are needed to empower HR. It's not an instant solution, and by keeping trying, believing in yourself will push you to keep trying. Thank you so much for that answer, and for deconstructing that skepticism that there is around the HR function here in Vietnam, HR function or department. Does anybody has any question? Feel free to open your mic.
I have a big question.
Yes.
For Alexander. So what you were just saying sounds very familiar. Obviously, we are a small organization. We have a team of about 45 people. But having worked in a lot of big companies, I can totally believe that happens a lot, that sort of chicken and egg situation. So what is then the thing that breaks that cycle? How do you then sort of make that not happen? Do you have any kind of like experiences where you found a solution to that?
So can you please repeat the solution? What is the problem?
So you were talking about that there's a lot of times that there's like an issue in communications between the HR team and then the overall leadership, and therefore there's kind of like a chicken and egg situation where HR doesn't get empowered. Have you found in your career or in other examples like something that can break through that issue?
Yes, so this is a very interesting, and there is a very simple tool which is very helpful, this ENPS survey, which was created by Bain and Company, I don't know, like 15 years ago. Whatever I have seen it implemented, it drastically changed the organization because leadership trusts only data. I don't think any organization trusts specific assumptions or hypotheses until people really see the data. And both HR and leadership will probably see, how say that, this bias where this survey will be sent in the best time to have good results, you know, that to see a better picture than it really is. And when I see companies start doing it, I tell them like, what is your goal? To tell that you're great? If you think you're great, you can just tell you're great 24/7. But if you want to solve problems, if you want to make your company better, send the survey at worst possible time. And just keep sending it at bad time, so you will see if you send it at worst time, but the results are improving, you're doing good things. But if company just tries to match data to look better, I don't think it's good. You know, some companies even buy Glassdoor reviews to look better. What's the point?
So that's also why you recommend that companies do it not only at honest times to launch, but also keep doing it like every 3 to 4 months. So you see that continuous picture improvement or otherwise.
Exactly. So every month is a little bit hard. So try it in different companies every month. The response rate is not good. The reason why it's dangerous is because those people who will answer the survey, it's a specific group of people. So you need to have as many people as possible. So you have a great selection of opinions. The optimal SQL, I think it's every 2 months. And of course, they should be short and simple. So it shouldn't be more than 20 bullet points total. Otherwise, people will just look, oh my God, so much to write.
Yeah, and they won't have any time, and it won't gather as many data as you wanted. So if you do it at 2 months, at the rate of 2 months, you can. How many % of engagement do you usually have on your surveys?
Anything better than 50% is great. If the engagement is less than 50%, it's a problem for organization. It means that half of your company is not engaged. It's a very complicated situation where you need to drive the business forward and at the same time engage your employees. I think for a lot of organizations, they just literally don't have resources for that. And you will see a lot of startups, they have 2 or 3 HRs for 100 people who are double or triple heading, because right now you have to, for organization to launch HRS is simple, but at the same time, when HRS is launched, there is other demand like learning and development and more complicated compensation benefits and hiring expats. For example, in Vietnam, it's very hard to hire expats. You need to have a lot of approvals and work with Department of Labor. So there are a lot of challenges, and the company needs to make sure that HR has time to do those things, because if HR doesn't have time and have promises, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And Yi has one last question. The culture of the company will come from HR strategies or activities. How do you think about that? But somehow the HR decision will be affected by C-level. What is the problem in that?
So the culture of the company is people. It doesn't come from HR. It doesn't come from leadership. It's literally all the people in the organization. Going back to butterfly effect, it's every single person in your company is your culture. Great example will be right now, there's a scandal with Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. So scandal is huge. So the company is more than 100,000 employees, and 2 people go forward, which were impacted maybe by 2 people, maybe by 5 people. but there is a very small group of people which cause a huge reputational damage. And those people were hired by HR department. But those people were interviewed by hiring managers, and there are some standards. So the responsibility lays on everybody. It lays on management, it lays on HR, it lays on employees. It's very important to have this transparency where leadership empowers HR to drive the change and collect data. And when HR comes up with some sad or unexpected results, management shouldn't hide somewhere and say that it's a single event, so we will not do anything with this. It's very important that management provides empowerment to HR, HR collects data, and employees feel trust so they can share about challenges openly rather than after 5 years and the lawsuit.
Yeah, it's very important for the communication to be very transparent, to be able to connect, so to collect the data, and for the people to be confident in the company. Thank you so much for Alex to be here and to share with us all this experience. It's 1 p.m. So as takeaways, very important, please remember to run frequent surveys of your people. It's very important to keep being updated because the business only believe in data, only trust in data. And this is why tech can be helpful. It's not the tech is the end. It's really a tool to engage more, to have a better HR department or function that serves better the business. So thank you everyone for attending this HR lunch break. It's the last from season number 2. Thank you Dreamplex for accompanying and tied on that. Season number 3 will be on the 17th of September and 24th of September. We will have a roundtable, including Alex, who's doing the honor to come back. So thank you very much, Alex, for accepting the second invitation. And there's going to be a fireside chat between Abhishek from VNG and Chaylin from a.k.a. The next season is brought to you by Dreamplex, Tide, and a.k.a. Insurance Company. So please follow our page, like our page, both on Facebook, LinkedIn, to know more about those 2 events. I'm looking forward to see you then. Thank you very much for attending. I wish you a great weekend and see you very soon. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing.
Everyone. Thank you, Denise. Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay safe.
Yes,
have a good weekend.
Safe. Yes, have a good weekend. Enjoy. Thanks a lot. Nicholas is asking for the slides. Would you care to, do you mind sharing them to him?
Yes, I will send the final version of my deck.
Cool. And then I will pass it on to Nicholas. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,